think that many salespeople feel like the Labrador in a room full of yellow balls, right? It's like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? So I think that we need to help salespeople understand what is the objective. Is the objective to hit their revenue number? Or is their objective to help as many people as possible be as successful as possible? And there, then, in and of itself, you'll hit your numbers.
Hey y'all, welcome to Selling with Social, the podcast that helps marketers increase marketing qualified leads, sales reps to shatter sales results, and sales leaders to grow as leaders. Each show, we interview sales, marketing, and social media practitioners, leaders, and influencers to help you connect, close more deals, build stronger relationships with clients, and improve your sales productivity. I'm Mario Martinez Jr. You're now listening to Selling with Social. Today's guest is Jon Ferrara. Jon is a CRM and relationship management entrepreneur and noted speaker about social media's effects on sales and marketing. His most recent venture is Nimble.com. Jon is best known as the co-founder of Goldmine Software, one of the early pioneers in the Salesforce automation and customer relationship management software categories. He has been recently recognized on Forbes as one of the top 10 social CEOs and the top 10 social salespeople in the world. And I'm excited to have Jon on today's podcast. All right, Jon Ferrara, the man, the myth, the legend, and the creator of the CRM movement. Man, I am so excited to be here with you today. Welcome to Sales Chalk Talk podcast today.
Mario, I'm super excited to be here with you today because we share a common passion, plan, and purpose in life. And that's to help other people grow. Because I think that's what we're on this planet to do, is to grow our souls and help other people to grow theirs. And what's the best way to do that than help other people achieve their dreams and goals? So if you're going to throw me a soapbox and say, Jon, get up on that soapbox and inspire and educate people about how they could become better, smarter, faster, I say, heck yeah.
I love it, man. We're in the same exact boat on that one. And you know, it's funny. I have been following you for a long time. You know why? You were essentially the head of the CRM movement, right? Goldmine. That was my very first introduction into CRM was Goldmine.
Yeah.
And to actually be here on the phone with you talking and doing this podcast and really bring some value back to our audience. First off, again, thank you for doing it. And the legend is here with me. So I'm so excited to be here with you. And now the CEO of Nimble, which is another amazing CRM-based company.
Well, you know, I think that what we started with Goldmine, we didn't finish. And that was empowering customer-facing business team members to be more effective at engagement that drives relationships, that drive results. Yeah. And so if you think about when we started Goldmine, there was no Outlook. There was no Salesforce. There was no term SFA, CRM, or market automation. In fact, there was no program that integrated the contacts you're connecting to the conversations you're having in email and the activities you're driving in your calendar. Email and calendar weren't connected to our contact record. We had email, we had network scheduling, but we didn't have contact and we didn't have sales and market automation. And I was a sales rep in the field for a startup technology company, and they gave me leads and said, go get them. And I said, okay, great. How? And so I'd cold call people, make notes on the paper, put my appointments in my day timer, and I said, this is really stupid. And because I had a computer science background and I worked my way through college in computer land, I actually knew every single software program on the market at the time. Yeah. This was in 1988. There wasn't a program that did email, contact, calendar, and sales and market automation. So I quit my job and started a company called Goldmine to fix my own problem. And it turned out there was a problem that millions of people had.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's funny you bring that the concept of so much has changed, especially in way of relationships. Like if you think of the world of CRM, the way salespeople build relationships back then, starting with Goldmine till present day, has significantly changed. Talk to me a little bit about what or how has building relationships changed for salespeople since you started Goldmine till now?
I think that sales has become a 4-letter word. That really the whole idea of sales is to bag them and tag them in many salespeople's mentality, and they'll do whatever it takes to get the sale. I think that service is the new sales, that we're here to help other people grow, even if that means that you're not going to sell them your product today. Because if you could set yourself up as a trusted advisor who can help other people become better, smarter, faster, you won't have to cold call anymore. They'll pick up the phone and call you, and they'll drag their friends with them. This is what sales is all about. And in reality, this is what sales has always really been about, that your reputation is built on the promises that you make and the experiences that you deliver. The problem is that we got affected by mass manufacturing in the early 1900s and then Mad Men marketing to sell the mass manufacturing, that they used door-to-door salespeople, the full brush man, to sell this stuff. And really the whole idea of that business owner on the corner of a small town who builds his reputation by building relationships one person at a time just totally shifted. And the thing is that I think we're going through a full circle with a renaissance in relationships where we're really becoming to understand the value of our brand, understand the value of our network, and not just for salesperson people, but any business person. And today we're given tools to manage these things. And I actually think that the tools we're given are broken. And I know a thing or two about contact management or CRM because I helped invent it. But the problem is that the fact that there's 225 million global businesses and less than 1% use any CRM is a testimony that people hate their CRMs and they hate their contact managers. The reason they call it Salesforce, you have to force salespeople to use it. Nobody in their right mind would use a CRM if they weren't beat on to do it. And that's because you work for the CRM. It doesn't work for you.
Yeah.
You have to go and Google who somebody is and then log what you know. Then you go and engage in whatever channel you can. In most cases, that's email and social, and then go log what you did. Imagine if your CRM worked for you by building itself and then worked with you wherever you were engaging with a customer. That would help you to be more effective at engaging. And the thing is that CRMs today aren't built for you, the salesperson. They're built for management. CRM stands for customer reporting management, not customer relationship management. Most people live in their inbox or a spreadsheet, which means we all live in Outlook, Address Book, or Google Contacts. So that is where we live. And so that's why Goldmine was so great, because it was Outlook and Salesforce in one platform, and not just salespeople lived in it, but everybody in the company. And I think we're coming back to that concept today.
Yeah, interesting. Touching on one of the things you said about salespeople being service individuals, I cannot disagree with you whatsoever in terms of being that service person that is offering value and helping your clients. And at the same time, coming as a former vice president of sales and 18 years in sales leadership, you're 100% right. There isn't a salesperson that I know that wanted to use CRM as a result of being able to help us manage the relationship as opposed to help us be able to report up to management. And that's a fundamental problem that's broken in our industry.
If CRM was so good at relationship management, then all the CRM analysts and editors and bloggers that I know, and I know them all, would use a CRM.
Yeah.
None of them use a CRM. Yeah. So that says that CRM is really not for relationships, but reporting. If you think about the sales and marketing technology tech stack that you need today to be successful as a sales rep or even a business person, you have to go out and buy a market automation system to lead nurture your leads. And then you put them in the CRM, and you have to then go and Google them to know who they are, and then go and engage in email to try to build a relationship, and now social. And so what you need is you need to get a market automation system, then you need to get a CRM system, then you need sales intelligence software to tell you who somebody is and what the business is about. And then you need sales enablement software to do outreach, so the email, the tracking, and the templating. So you end up spending $300 to $500 per rep per month for the modern sales and marketing technology stack. And I think it's too complex and it's too expensive. What do you think, Maury?
I can't disagree with you. I mean, that's one of the things we were just talking about. I was training this past week one of the very, very well-known NFL teams, sports teams, sales teams. And as we were looking at all the different stacks that salespeople can get or a leadership team can get, it was overwhelming the amount of things that you could have as a salesperson. And it boiled down to, let's just net it out. What really works, right? What do we really need to be able to make this work? Which kind of goes into this next question, really on, if you think about selling, I've been here 18 years. You've been in sales a little bit longer than that. Selling has changed dramatically over the course of your entire career, and certainly is mine. So what do you think how has it changed? And talk to me a little bit about what do you see coming down the future pipe for sales folks?
Well, in the old days, we used to go in somebody's office and look at their walls, look at the books they read, the degree of the school they went to, the knickknacks they collect, just like the stuff that's on your credenza behind you. Yeah. These are all clues that you would be able to build a trusted relationship with somebody, because relationships are built on what I call the 5 F's of life: family, friends, food, fun, and frolicking, aligned along your 3 P's: passion, plan, and purpose. And if you can build a relationship at those levels, it will transcend any business change that occurs. And so I'm going to tell you a story about relationships. You don't connect with somebody at LinkedIn and then stay in LinkedIn and then just manage the relationship at LinkedIn. What happens is you start a relationship in someplace softer like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, something. Then LinkedIn is a place where you exchange this sort of connection, but then you maintain the relationships across all the channels that are most effective for that person. And so ultimately, it's those common trusted things that we connect and stay connected on. In the old days, that's how we did it, by going to somebody's office. Today, we're doing it electronically. But the problem is that we're doing it in all these different places, and it's just, we're over-connected and over-communicated. And I think that many salespeople feel like the Labrador in a room full of yellow balls, right? It's like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? So I think that we need to help salespeople understand, what is the objective? Is the objective to hit their revenue number, or is their objective to help as many people as possible be as successful as possible? And then, in and of itself, you'll hit your numbers.
Yeah. That's
a completely different concept. The concept of rewarding salespeople based off customer success rather than how many units they sold.
That gets into a very interesting discussion about, I'm going totally off of a tangent here, but the idea behind you sell something and you hand it over for somebody else to actually maintain.
Bingo.
I don't want to go out on this tangent here, but I've got my strong philosophies behind that. They're just the power of leveraging referrals that you miss. The missed opportunities from some of those types of arrangements are pretty significant. And yet some of the largest software companies and technology companies in the world practice this type of model here. So anyways, that's a totally side tangent. We could probably have another podcast just about that.
Yeah. And the way I see it is this: companies today behave like a castle. There's a wall around the company. Marketing's throwing hot oil over the wall to slow people down, so sales reps can shoot as many people in the head as they can. And then they shove the customers off to the customer service line in order to then go get the next sale. Yeah. And sales and marketing have a wall between them, and they don't talk to each other. And marketing says salespeople don't follow up on the leads, and salespeople say that the leads stink.
Yeah.
And I think we need to rip the wall down between us and our customers and between the departments, so we're all working more effectively together. And I think maybe that service is the new sales, and maybe what we use is a customer success team rather than a sales team.
Interesting you mentioned that. So talking about the future, changes I foresee in the future, just on that same line that you're talking about, I think, we have this new role that's been popping up a lot more, the CRO role, right? The Chief Revenue Officer. And what that role includes usually is sales and marketing and service, right? And all that underneath that. But at the end of the day, I think salespeople and marketing I'm going to introduce a term that's not new, but we're all going to become smarketers. We need to be able to understand how to both sell and how to both market and how to both attract and how to both service our particular clients. And I think the expectation of a salesperson is going to become a lot more on top of us to be able to understand the different dynamics of selling versus servicing and helping versus trying to close a deal, right?
I think that a company brand is built on the promises that you make and the experience that you deliver. And much of that experience that you deliver as a company is through your customer-facing business team members, the sales and the service people and the product people. And if you can align the promises that you make to the experiences that you deliver, you will build a goldmine. I know I did. And so I think that back in the day, my best salespeople were marketers, right? They were constantly sharing information with their prospects and customers and partners and VARs about how they might help them become better, smarter, faster. And they weren't relying on leads from the marketing department. And I think today, most of the best social sellers have taken social marketing into their own hands, and they're using it to build their brand, which in the end will build a company brand, which I think is the future of a social business. So if you say to me, how has sales changed? I think we're actually coming back around to some of the philosophies of what it took to be successful as a salesperson or a business person in a small town. That social is making the whole world a smaller village, where your reputation, that your network and your brand are so critical to your success, and that salespeople are becoming hybrid people where they're practicing not just marketing, but also customer success too.
I totally feel what you're saying. I cannot disagree. And obviously we're both in sales leaders and as well as in the social space here as well. So I think we can share a lot of those philosophies. Thinking about the concept of new sales folks coming in to the marketplace, there's a lot of folks that are entering into sales. And I think sales is an amazing career. And I've been in it, as I mentioned, 18 years. And I've had nothing but amazing time, growth development, leadership development, all kinds of great things. But there are a lot of things that, knowing what I know now, if I were to go back in time, I would tell myself not to do this and to do this. So same with you, Jon. If you could go back in time, meet yourself at the start of your sales career, what's the one piece of advice that you might give yourself for our listeners who are the new folks coming into sales?
Well, Mario, I think it's the basics that wins games. That John Wooden said it best, that really most salespeople fail by lack of effective organization and follow up and follow through. And so what I'd say to any sales rep is to get organized, right? To track all of the contacts, all of the promises that you make, all the follow-up that you're going to do. Write down what people say. You got 2 ears, listen twice as much as you talk. The customer will tell you everything you need to know to be successful. That your network is your net worth. Your personal brand plus your professional network will help you achieve whatever goals you have. And ideally, those goals are to help other people succeed at scale. But pick up some good sales books. Pick up some good marketing books. One of the books that most of the people I know who retired at 40 like I did, Think and Grow Rich, Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, Positioning, which is a marketing book. But there's a lot of great knowledge out there. Learn every day. And ideally, what you want to do is you want to set yourself up as a trusted advisor to not only your prospects and customers, but their influencers as well. The whole reason we were able to build Goldmine without any venture capital, with only $5,000 investment, was we, first of all, came out with technology that was unique and new in the market, but that doesn't do you any good unless you get in front of your customers. And influencer marketing has been going on since the beginning of time. I cold called every Novell reseller in the country who sold a network to small businesses, and I had the first networkable business program. I got them to use it because people sell what they know and they know what they use. If you could identify the influencer of your core prospects in around the areas of promise of your product and build a relationship with them, they could help you do anything you'd ever want to do in life. And so the biggest thing is the basics. And then beyond that is do what you say what you do, follow up and follow through. And remember the value of relationships.
That's some really great advice. And in our YouTube channel, I talk a lot about how salespeople are like actual entrepreneurs. Mm-hmm. And I think the life of an entrepreneur, and we're living it. This is our first year as launching a company. We've had a successful launch, really amazing, unprecedented growth on the personal branding for sales side, especially. And it's been nothing short of hard work. I think I've worked probably more in my life in 1 year than I have in 3 years combined. But I talk a lot about how salespeople are like entrepreneurs. Yeah. And this is that piece of advice that I give to new folks that are coming in. And you're a master entrepreneur. You've clearly done it successfully multiple times. And you're also a key sales influencer. So if you think about this concept, why do you think it's important for a salesperson to think of themselves as an entrepreneur or as a business owner? And the second question would be, how will changing their mindset help them to be more successful?
I think that if you think of yourself as your own independent business, you're not relying on other people to make you successful. You will make yourself successful. And if you rely on your company to give you leads or to support your customers properly, you're going to fail, because all companies have issues with some of the basics. And if you became your own marketer by starting to build your brand and your network, and then to nurture whatever leads they give you, but to go in and bring your own leads into that. And then when you do sell something, don't expect somebody else to take care of everything. You follow up and follow through. You're the account manager. You need to make sure that you don't just bag them and tag them, but you're there to help them succeed. Because if you do that, you will not only keep them as a customer, but they will drag their friends with them. And that's how you build a scalable company, is by building customers that become your own salespeople.
Absolutely. Yeah, totally agree with you. And it's interesting when you think about this concept of the entrepreneur mindset.
Yeah.
You will control your own destiny. I mean, there may be some large conglomerations or large organizations where they put the finger on you and you can't do certain things or this or that. But think about like some critical elements, I think, for salespeople. Number one, it starts out, you mentioned earlier, branding, right? Personal and professional branding. Like you can control that, and you can control what your customers think about you and how your customers refer you. And I think that's like, as an entrepreneur, you're thinking about the branding, you're thinking about the marketing, you're thinking about the sales. You are laser focused on the right opportunities, because most entrepreneurs don't have the time to sit there and figure out which one they're going to go after to help make money, right? They know which one they're going to go after to make themselves successful. So that's some great insight that you offer there. Any other thoughts on the mindset of an entrepreneur and how it can make them more successful?
For me, it just doesn't turn off at 7 o'clock when I go home, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't.
It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And for you to succeed in life, it's going to take that type of focus and devotion. I think that some of my best ideas come to me in the middle of the night. I'm processing the things during the day. And so keep a pad of paper by your bedside. Write things down, because you will forget things in life. So whether it's when you're waking up in the middle of the night or you're thinking about something while you're doing something else, but these ideas are the magic of what the universe will deliver to you. If you could figure out what your passion is, if you could build a plan to achieve it, and you can make it your purpose, that plan on a daily basis, and you take that plan and you put it on your mirror and you wake up every morning and you say, what am I doing to get here, to get there? And ideally that plan is helping other people become better, smarter, faster at scale. You can't help but succeed in life. But in the end, remember that success isn't counted by how many dollars you have in the bank. Success is counted by how many people you've truly been present with in your life and that you've served as a human being. And in the end, that's all they will remember you for. Not that you built this company or you made this much money. They say on your gravestone, beloved friend, father, husband, whatever. And so as a guy who's been successful, who's been there and done it before, that moment where you're with the people, and especially the people that you love and that love you, be there with them. And so you need to mix the passion and the excitement of entrepreneurship, whether you're being an entrepreneur as a sales rep for a company or you're actually doing something like you are, Mario. Remember, you need to balance that with that other stuff. So a year after I sold Goldmine, I got a head tumor and almost died. And so one of the things I learned in the journey of healing is that, we're not here just to make the bucks.
Yeah. Going through an experience like that certainly could reset priorities. Yeah.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because we're actually getting ready to, in this year alone with the launch of our company, we've had some just tremendous success. And I remember someone saying to me, look, if you're going to go off on your own, expect to work 18-hour days, right?
Yeah.
But you've got to give back to your family. So that having been said, I'm getting ready, John, to take my family for an entire month to Hawaii. We're getting ready to go to Hawaii.
Where are you going?
We're going to the islands of Kauai. So we're going to take some nice time to rest and relax. And
So Mario, last December, I took my family to Hawaii for 2 weeks to Kauai. So after we get done with this podcast, if you want me to walk you through any tips or things, let me know. But 2 of them, one of which definitely hiked the Nepali coast.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. Do a boat ride around the island that takes you to the Nepali coast from the ocean side. That's really nice. Go hang out in Honolulu Bay and just float there for a while. It's so cool. Just be there. And the helicopter's ride is worth it. So just do the helicopter ride.
Yeah, I'm curious if they're going to let my 2-year-old go on the helicopter ride, but he would love it.
He'll be all right.
Going back to this concept of, this entrepreneur thought process, I remember I started out in software sales when I was 19 years old. And by the time I was 21, I had a very, very healthy income. I was really killing it. And one of the things I remember was writing a check for $7,500 to go put myself in a 5-day Miller Hyman conceptual and strategic selling training course. Remember those old blue sheets that they used to have? Well, I think they're still around. I'm positive they're still around. But I remember investing in me, right? Yeah. And there was nobody else. I didn't wait for the company that I was working with to invest in me. I needed to be able to be better, and I needed to invest in myself. And I find that a lot of young salespeople who have entered into the marketplace, they're oftentimes waiting on the company to invest back in them. Should we wait? Should we wait for the company? Should we ask for the company? Or should we take the time to invest in ourselves, whether that's going to pay for training, books, leadership trainings? What do you think, John?
If you wait for somebody else to make your life, to build your life, to create your opportunities, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
I think the whole reason why I'm sitting here with you here today is because I took those steps. I didn't want to say shoulda, coulda, woulda in life. And I took those steps and made those changes. And I stood out within my organizations, wherever I was. And then I was finally at that point where I was bold enough to say, you know what? I can always go get a job, Mario, but I can't always have an opportunity to have an impact on the world and go build something that might help other people grow at scale, i.e. Goldmine. And so any sales rep listening to this today, you need to invest in yourself on a daily basis, and not just the selling skills, but also the personal skills, the philosophical skills. Basically become a 100% rounded human being, because this is why people will dig you, is not necessarily because you're a good salesperson, but because they connect with you on your areas of commonality, and that you are somebody they can identify with, and that you're somebody who can help them grow. This is one of the reasons why when I share across all my different identities, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Instagram, Foursquare, Google+, Crunchbase, AngelList, Snapchat.
The list goes on.
The list goes on. I just don't. First of all, it's maybe 10 or 20% what Nimble is, and it's 80% about how I might help you become better, smarter, faster, or my areas of passion, which includes like I said, the 5 F's: family, friends, food, fun, and frolicking. So I've got pictures of cars and food and baseball games or whatever, or just pictures I took of a sunset, because I think that that's the human aspect that people will connect to you on.
Yeah, no doubt. So I want to transition to, you and I are very passionate social media, social selling leaders in the marketplace. And there is no doubt about it. Social media has transformed our sales industry. You rattled off several platforms that you're utilizing, and there's literally over 200 different social platforms that are available today to people.
Yeah.
Many of them, the mainstream ones we know of, the LinkedIn, the Twitters, the YouTubes, some of the ones you mentioned as well. There is no doubt about it. Our buyers are digitally enabled, they're mobile attached, and we're socially engaged. For goodness sakes, I'm going to say it. My gosh, John, do you know how many of us take this thing to the bathroom with us? I got to say it. Right.
So I'm going to tell you something. I have this, I change cases when I get a new phone. And I took the old case that I had, which is that Apple case that's sort of leather. It's like a baseball glove.
Yeah.
I took it and I stuck it in a closet. You should do that with your case.
So why?
Totally started growing shit. It's like a farm, man. It's like this fungus, so so right. you don't want to know what's on that case.
Oh no, yeah. Well, it's to my point earlier, to your point now, that we're just connected, right? So when we think about that buyer that's now totally digitally connected, totally mobilely attached, totally socially immersed and enabled, tell me how Nimble helps address those 3 areas: the digital, the mobile, the social. How does it address those 3 areas for a salesperson?
I truly believe that it's your job to understand who somebody is and what their business is about in order for you to serve them and help them grow. And in the old days, like I said, we did that by going to somebody's office, looking at their walls. Today, we do it electronically. but it's just too much work to do by going and Googling somebody and going and looking at all their identities. And most people stop at somebody's LinkedIn resume.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn is like walking in my lobby. You're gonna know where I work, but you're not really gonna know Jon Ferrara. If you want to know Jon Ferrara, you need to know multiple data points. To find a point on a map, you need longitude, latitude, and altitude. If I just give you longitude and latitude, you may not find me because I may be up here, or I may be down there.
Yeah.
And so for you to truly understand who somebody is, you need to walk in their digital footprint across a variety of their places and ideally add value to them before you ever reach out. And maybe they're going to reach out to you because you've added value to their journey. And so you need to figure out whatever channel is most effective for your prospect customer and ideally their influencer, and begin to add value and work with them. The thing that Nimble does is, number one, it works for you by building itself from the data you already have in your business, which are the contacts you're connecting to, the conversations you're having in email and social, and the activities that you're driving from your calendar into one cohesive platform, and then enriches people and company records with the data you need to understand who somebody is, what they're about, log in every interaction that you have on email and social so you have the context of the history of interaction for you and the team, and then working with you wherever you work. Because if you're sitting in your inbox, if you're sitting in your CRM, if you're sitting in LinkedIn, that's not the only place your customers are. You need to be wherever they're having conversations to be adding value to their journey, to be their trusted advisor. There is no funnel anymore. It's more like a pretzel.
Yeah.
And so you need to be participating in whatever part of that pretzel there is. Nimble is the only platform that does that. Most platforms are a platform that you go to and use, or that sits in your inbox. And what Nimble does is it unifies all the contacts, all the communications, all the activities for you and your team, so all of you can work on one page. And for me, it's like that thing on my shoulder that's always helping me to be more effective in the moment and in the place where I am. So to be effective in our over-connected, over-communicated world, you need context, history of interaction, insights, who are they, what are they about, and you need to take action. So to follow up and follow through. If you have to go to your CRM to do that, if you have to go to your contact tool to take action, you're not going to do it. So what Nimble is it works for you by building itself and then works with you wherever you're at. And if I say I'm going to do this, like send you information on Kauai, I can make that recording because Nimble plugs in my journey throughout all my browser and my mobile experience. And what's interesting is this is the first time I'm announcing it. I haven't told anybody about this, but Microsoft is embedding Nimble in 40 million Outlook handsets starting in January because of the context and insights we provide. That means that not only is Nimble helping you in the Nimble app, in the Nimble browser plugin, in the Nimble mobile app, but we're starting to plug into the business tools you're using. So you can actually use Nimble inside of your CRM. Because I believe every sales rep has a golden Rolodex. They don't take good care of it.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could put your golden Rolodex in the cloud, i.e. Nimble, and then take it with you everywhere you work and have it actually update your CRM records for you.
Yeah.
And so that's what Nimble could do for you, either as an individual sales rep or for a company. So I don't mind if you use Nimble as your social sales and marketing platform, or have it add value to your existing social sales and marketing tools that you already have in your business.
Well, fantastic on the Microsoft announcement. That is phenomenal. Congratulations on that. That's big news for you guys. And I expect nothing less from you, Jon, right? I expect nothing less from you, is always keeping us on our toes with these big, giant things that are coming out with Nimble. So, Jon, last question for you.
Yeah.
How can our listeners contact you or Nimble? How can they reach out to you?
The easiest way to contact me is Google me. And ideally, Nimble me if you're using Nimble, nimble.com. But if you can't be Googled by your prospects, customers, and their influencers, then you're doing something wrong in life, right? If you don't stand out from the crowd, you're dead. So Google me, you'll find me, connect with me on whatever channel is most effective for you. Nimble.com, I'm Jon_Ferrara on Twitter. And, if you Google Jon Ferrara, you'll find a way to connect with me. And I'd love to hear from you about how I might be able to help you become better, smarter, faster, because that's why I'm on this planet, is to help you grow. And that helps me grow.
Jon, you are amazing. I love spending time talking with you. I want to thank you so much. And for our listeners right now, hang tight because there's another message I got here for you. Thanks so much, Jon. Take care, buddy.
Thank you, Mario. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to the Selling with Social podcast. I'm super pumped that you are our guest today. Here's what I want you to do right now. Go to jr.com/podcast and support our podcast, please, by distributing it out anywhere you can get it to on social. And don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes. You'll find all the instructions there on the site on how to subscribe to the Selling with Social podcast. Until the next show, keep on rocking. Mario Martinez Jr. out.